football fans, and welcome to The Onside Kick. My name is Ricky Widmer, and as always, I'm joined by Dave Oster.
Hey, guys.
And Mark Weber.
How's it going?
And guys, we had a interesting week of football news this week.
Gotta say, not football news.
Yeah, not a lot. Well, I guess
You got
could
TMZ
say
for football.
a lot happened last weekend, but the biggest thing is, Dave, you said TMZ for football. Percy Harvin and the debacle that's going on in Seattle right now. Yeah, I said debacle.
I was gonna my first thought is, can we call it a debacle?
I think right now
it's
Well,
2 games.
Okay, no, right now, take the 2 losses that they've had in a row out the window. Everything that's surrounding this team. You trade Percy Harvin for 2 conditional picks to the Jets. Oh, we traded him because he was bad in the locker. He was a bad guy in the locker room, which
he
to
picked
me,
fights with other wide receivers.
To me, I don't know if it's just being from Chicago, listening to you guys all the time talk about how Lovey didn't like guys who were bad in the locker room.
Yep.
That's what
Yeah,
it
no
brought
bad
to my mind.
characters.
And now you're coming out with there's players saying that they think Russell Wilson is just in it to get a big contract, and now they're picking fights with their franchise quarterback.
To be fair with Russell Wilson, he's getting paid dirt for an NFL superstar.
Well, he gonna get paid.
yeah,
It's
he's
gonna
going to.
happen.
But for right now, I don't blame him if I'm sitting there going, I'm not getting paid anything.
Yeah.
When you're sitting there compared to a second stringer next to you who's getting more money than you are.
Terrell Pryor out earning you. No big deal.
That is that's a little bit of something. But yeah, I don't know, with this whole locker room thing, I kind of feel like this team was so built up on that, I don't want to say just macho men out there, Randy Savage style, but these guys were just almost thuggish. They were tough guys out there. Wasn't it kind of bound to
defense.
happen? Yeah,
The defense
and not
Marshawn
necessarily the
Lynch.
offense, but
Well,
the offense had some of that too.
Marshawn Lynch, not attitude-wise,
Toughness.
play style.
yeah.
He plays with toughness to him. Yeah, definitely.
Beast mode.
Yeah,
There's
when
a
you
reason
have
why
a
it's called
team
beast mode.
that is this tough guy personified as a team, they're going to kind of start some fights with each other. But they're such a good team that they're going to get over it in a week or two when they win another
Well, the
game.
problem is Percy Harvin. Well, first off, he's won to win a game, which it's been a couple weeks now.
It
Tempers
has,
kind
for the
of
first
boil
time in
up.
a while,
yeah.
yeah.
So this is how do you handle defeat as a team, and they haven't really had to worry about that in the past. So
They don't quite understand what defeat really is.
maybe not. I mean, this is a roster that had been turned over pretty well by Pete Carroll when he got there. So a lot of these guys are younger and have experienced the most success, and it's not always going to be that easy.
These are the first time, by the way, first back-to-back losses since 2012. That's 2 years.
It's pretty impressive. The other thing is Percy Harvin had a track record of being a not-so-great guy in the locker room. In Minnesota, there was complaints. And then he goes to Seattle. Year 1 goes by. He's off the field most of the year.
Because of injury.
And what does he do? He's picking fights with people in the locker room. When he comes back the next summer, Baldwin, I think, had complaints with him.
Yeah, but to me, this whole you bring up Baldwin.
Yeah.
To me, Baldwin's been a punk. I'm going to use the word punk because not only and I get the whole maybe not getting along with Percy, but he's a guy we even talked about last week going after Russell Wilson, where he doesn't like how Russell Wilson likes to look at the positives when he's talking to the media. You can't go to the media and say, yeah, we got this wrong and that wrong and this wrong. You say, yeah, this is what we did right, and you leave the negatives for the film room. That's what I think.
Yeah, so that's an interesting way to look at it, yeah.
Is
one right or wrong? I don't know.
I
It's
just
up to
think
you.
Doug Baldwin's being a punk. He's starting stuff in the locker room. That's what I think.
And yet Doug Baldwin wasn't the one who was traded away. And everybody thinks it's heavily influenced by who Russell Wilson wants to play with. That was the whole thing is we're building this team around this kid. So if he doesn't get along with you, you're out the door. I think that was the message. I really do.
Well, not just that. Who made more money, Baldwin or Harvin?
Yeah, but I would also
No, I don't think money had anything to do with
production
it.
from that money, because you got one guy playing just a few games, the other guy's actually on the field.
But they got to free up room for Wilson, money-wise.
But I would say, actually, we look at it on the outside of, Baldwin was kind of outspoken out there. He was actually talking about his concerns. Percy Harvin was doing it in the locker room. I think that's going to be worse. And I think it also kind of shows more of one just being frustration and the other one being actual problems.
Baldwin was doing it in a game.
Sure.
Where it's like you could see, and like
I
you
think
said,
there's a lot of players that say bad things
no.
in the game, though.
But when you're in your quarterback's face so bad, the cameras go to you and the TV announcers start talking about it, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, but we know for a fact that the camera just picks on anything going on in the
Exactly.
sideline, and they try and make a story out of it.
True.
They made a story about a guy laughing on the sideline while his team was losing. Now, if that's not news,
And it still comes up. What was it last week with the ha Johnny Manziel tweet? People were still talking about him laughing on the sidelines.
So it's garbage. They want to make a story out of everything out there, and it's just not the case. I think you have to get in your quarterback's face every once in a while because Russell Wilson, he production-wise had the best game of his career last week. He had over 300 yards passing, over 100 yards rushing. He tried to single-handedly beat them. It was ridiculous. But in previous games, he's been the conservative quarterback, just filling in the role as a manager, trying to get things, just push it along as they go. So, you know what? I have no problem with Baldwin speaking up, being a little verbal about it. It's needed from time to time. Not everybody's singing around the campfire, kumbaya. It doesn't work that way in an NFL locker room.
See, and here's another point that I'm going to bring up about the Seahawks. When everyone's like, okay, 2 losses, haven't done it since 2012, what's going on with this team? Is it the offense or is it really the defense? Because one of the main things I look at last season, they were the best defense in the league. They only gave up about 14 points per game. That was best in the league.
We got to take a moment, though.
This year, let me just finish. This year, 19th. They're giving up at least 8 points more.
You got to take a
game.
moment. This is the best defense since the 85 Bears. So we got to take a moment to say it can't always be like that.
You said it, I didn't.
It can't always be this great, amazing defense.
Oh, I know, but this is a defense that the whole reason maybe why they did so well last year was because, you're only letting opponents score 2 touchdowns a game.
But it's also a thing of we've had an entire offseason to look at this defense.
And the NFL has neutered the defense as far as ruling goes. So if you touch a member of the offense, you're now committing a penalty.
Yeah. But I will say, for this defense, not only was there time to watch, but you're just not going to have this level of play all the time. Any given Sunday, Ricky. It's going to change.
And that happened with the Rams.
Yeah. Coming in as the Super Bowl champion,
anytime they play,
you got a target on your back.
Apparently.
You really do. I mean, everybody plays up for you. You don't get those games where you can slide by.
Especially the Rams, who win the last couple games they played against you.
Well, like, Dave, when you were saying a target on the back, the first thing I thought of was you look at Richard Sherman. When a guy's sitting there and his main chant is, first off, he's loud and he's outspoken, and he is the chant of LOB, LOB. You're going to come up and play up to that because you want to beat him. You want to shut him up.
For sure. And I think part of that, too, with all the things that Richard Sherman was saying during the playoffs, after the playoff, after the Super Bowl, everything like that, I think everybody kind of had a thing of like, all right, I'm going to be the one that beats him now. Mm-hmm. So where last year people were being scared of like, oh, man, what are we going to do about Richard Sherman? Now it's, I'm going to beat Richard Sherman because I'm the one who's going to shut him up.
No, you're absolutely right.
So it's just it's a different attitude now.
Yeah, this defense, I really do think the turnover rate is the big difference, though. Last year, they were getting turnovers left and right. I don't know if that's... It was obviously due to the fact that, yes, we were applying more pressure to the quarterback. They were making different choices, and we're playing, from ahead. So when teams are behind, they have to throw more. It gives you more opportunities. All true, but point being, their turnover rate this year is far and away worse than last year where they were at. So what they need to do is make those opportunities, and the only way you're going to do that is, again, you need pressure on the quarterback, and you need to get an early advantage. I mean, those two things are just like step 1 and 2 for let's put the opposing team into an uncomfortable position, make them make the mistakes, and we can capitalize on it. That's what this defense did. They were hard-hitting. They wouldn't let you get a yard here and there. It was always no yards after the carry. Like, that was their whole thing. This year, it's like, well, we're not doing so great early on, and Russell Wilson kind of has to help us out. We're kind of on Marshawn Lynch a little more, and I just feel like it's not the same mentality as a team.
Can I throw a stat out to help you?
Feel free.
Last year, their giveaway takeaway differential plus 22. This year, plus 3.
Yeah, and it's coming up on the halfway point in the year. So, I mean, they'd have to go, It's a wee bit off.
22-3 is a huge gap.
You can't always be historic though. So
No.
I mean, it's not I know people in Seattle right now, they're not used to losing games. These past 3 seasons have been great, so it's a little weird for them right now, but you're still one of the, top 3 teams in the NFL.
Let me ask you this, though, Mark. I'm going to start this question
Mm-hmm.
with you. Speak to the people of Seattle. Their team's going through some hard times.
Yeah.
Right now, if you had to say what's the one thing bringing this team down, offense or defense?
The one thing I would say that's bringing this team down, I guess, I don't know. It's hard to put the blame on either one of them. I guess you do have to say the defense just because statistically they're not playing as well right now, but it's going to bounce back. You're going to be just fine. You just got to wait a little bit. Everybody needs to take a moment to sit down, realize it's okay, figure out the strategy again, and come back with a new, clean slate.
It's not bad advice, but I just have the big question of, so we got rid of Percy Harvin, so our offensive weapons are now Russell Wilson, who can do it himself apparently, as we've seen last week, Marshawn Lynch.
But this got you to a Super Bowl last year.
It's true, but what won them the Super Bowl
Percy
was
Harvin.
Percy Harvin.
Well, to be fair, though, they were going to win that win with or without.
To be
Percy
fair, I
Harvin.
believe Percy Harvin just kicked Denver square in the gut.
I'm pretty sure that
I think he kicked him a little bit lower than the gut.
Entirely
I'm pretty sure
possible.
that the opening safety is what really defeated Peyton Manning's Broncos.
Back and to the right.
Yes.
Back
Yeah.
and to the right. That's Peyton Manning's head right there. No.
As he just watches the Lombardi Trophy fly
Right
past
past.
us.
Yeah, it was a beautiful sight. But no, this team now becomes less versatile offensively. I think they got to the point where they were trying to rely on trick plays and the jet sweep, trying to make that key part of their game. And it's they're fine for some plays, but you need some actual offensive production, and they weren't getting it out of Percy Harvin. I don't know if it's play calling. I don't know if it's attitude. If him and Russell didn't get along, so he
Maybe
didn't
it
want
was
to throw him the ball.
migraines.
Could have been the migraines.
Yeah.
But point being is now your team opponents have one less thing to game plan against. So what are they going to do offensively? Are we just going ground and pound and short passes? Is that their key to success?
Well, I think the one thing you got to do is you got to look at the 3 losses for Seattle this year. Their first one on the road against a Chargers team that's doing good this year with Phillip Rivers. The Cowboys, who were one-loss team with Tony Romo. And then the Rams, just Mark, like you said, playing up against a divisional opponent.
That's a good point, though, Ricky. These are good teams that they're playing and that they're losing to. It's not the end of the world. They're not losing to the Jaguars. The Rams, it might be a little embarrassing if it wasn't a division rival, but it's a fine team to lose to.
If you lose week 9 at home to the Raiders, then you can hit the panic button.
Yes, absolutely.
That's when you move the team. You say, nope, we're done.
And on the other hand,
not
the
only
Raiders
lose-
then go into party mode.
They bring out the parade like
Well,
they just won the Super Bowl.
Look at
You
it
mean
this
they
way.
won 5 games?
that's true.
Their
With
5-game winning parade, yes.
With Seattle, at that point, you'd have lost twice at home, which call the press because that never happens. And then the Raiders, not only did you win a game, but you won in Seattle. But, enough about the Seahawks. There's another team a little bit closer to home for us. More closer home to you guys because you're actually their fans in the Chicago Bears. And a lot of Bears fans hitting the panic button.
Well, we also have our own locker room trouble. Seahawks, you're not alone. You're not alone. We have our...
The ultimate bromance is a little bit of trouble in paradise between
There's some tension.
Brandon and Jay.
Lovers bicker every now and then, but
Is it
it's
just
all
a
okay.
lover's quarrel?
I think so. I think it is. I'm sure they hugged and made up.
I don't know. Brandon Marshall, that was, to me, listening to what he said in the locker room after the loss was shots fired at Jay Cutler.
Yeah, but the next day he was saying everything's fine.
Yo, okay, everything's fine.
I think
Everything's fine, my ass.
I think it's one of those things where you can say shit to your best
Yeah.
friends and it's gonna be okay. the
I was going
next
to
day.
say, yeah. It just seems like one of those things he had to get off his chest. A lot of people were thinking it. He wasn't the only one. He's just a bit more vocal about it and comfortable talking to Jay about it. So
Well,
somebody
and I-
had to come out and say something.
Well, what that has, of course, the 3-4 record, the 0-3 at home, that's the basis. But to me, this Brandon Marshall rant kind of threw a little fire on everything we're hearing this week, all Bears fans, no matter who it is, are pointing the finger at someone. Either it's Trestman or it's Cutler, it's the offensive line, it's this, it's that. Mark, who are you pointing the finger at?
Well, I mean, I think there's quite a few things going on for the Bears overall. I don't really care much about this single loss that we have to the Dolphins. But the season as a whole, I mean, you know, we're getting some bad play out of Jay Cutler, obviously. Not the worst play out of Jay Cutler that we've seen. We've seen worse.
You say bad play. Look at the Panthers game.
For sure. And then really this game, like, he's got a really bad quarterback rating. Mm-hmm. We got to be honest like that. But only one interception. I mean, you know, it could
mistake,
be worse.
But yeah.
I mean, he did have some fumbles as well. One of which technically is not his fault.
Yeah, okay.
A running back could have, you know, had hands.
That's true.
But I mean, so it's not the worst we've seen, but it's nothing that you're happy about. Not good. But I mean, there's a lot of other things going on. Obviously, this defense isn't very good. They're turning over. And I say turning over in we have a lot of old guys. We're trying to get new guys in there who aren't playing very well, for the most part.
Unfortunately. Yep.
And then besides that, I think we're trying to figure out if Mark Trestman, you know, how good of a coach he's going to be. He's a great offensive mind, but the defense has obviously suffered, whether that's something he's allowed or it's just it's just like a consequence of all the age and the turning over of this unit. And then besides that, I think there's some game management. Poor game management and poor play calling.
Poor is a strong word. I don't think it's strong enough in this case. I think there's an entire lack of game management. It seems like there's no situational awareness to what time is left on the clock, what down it is, if we're up or down in the game. It just seems like he calls his plays however he wants to call them. There's nothing in consideration. I hope there is. But as a fan of the game watching it, you turn around and you're like, I don't get that. Why are we doing a jet sweep with Alshon on 2nd and 12?
Yeah.
Like, we want to lose 3 more yards? Is that the plan? We're going to trick him into it?
We want to be 3rd and 15 for our screen pass.
Exactly.
Right,
We're setting him up.
Yeah. And that was the thing I used to always say with the Texans in the past few years with Kubiak, where I would always complain where it was like every 3rd down, you knew they were going to throw way behind the line and just hope. Yep. And Arian Foster and Matt Forte have similar abilities of what they can do yards after catch wise or just with the ball handed into them. But it's just like, why? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I know you can get away with it every now and then, but when it becomes the staple, that's your issue. I like to go back to the good old days of Madden announcers where every play, every 3rd down, no matter what, they yell at you if you did not pass ahead of the 1st down marker.
Yep.
But anyways, to not be a robotic version of Chris Collinsworth or whoever they have announcing nowadays. But yeah, it's just here's my thing. We don't know what's going on with Trestman. And then of course we have the Jay Cutler issue. We have a gunslinger and a conservative offense. Which just as great as Jay Cutler is, and as much as he's the best quarterback the Bears have ever had, scheme fit wise, it just doesn't quite make sense.
I'm gonna throw a second best quarterback the Bears ever had. Sid Luckman.
Well, different era.
I agree.
I mean, it's hard.
It's still second best.
I don't know.
I'm gonna bring a point up.
In totally non-relevant news. Sorry about that, Tim.
I just want them both to stand next to each other with Rex Grossman and just throw the football. See who can throw it the furthest.
Grossman
I
wins.
want to see it. Probably.
This is the one thing I sit here. This is the one thing I sit here and think about.
Unleash the Dragon.
Yes, something in my head.
We get it, Dave. We all want Rex Grossman back. We all want a .5 was a QBR that he had in one of the games.
And yet he led us to the Super Bowl.
That's true. This is good Chicago offense.
Dave,
here.
is who you thought he was.
Let's just get another.
But you let him off the hook.
Hey, this guy's only played 2 games. He won 1. He lost another. Let's just get another quarterback and just put someone else.
We like to overreact a little bit.
Here's my big thing about Jay Cutler. And when everyone says, is he the guy? Is he not the guy? I go back to the Brandon Marshall rant.
Yep.
You know who needs to be, not that exact rant, but that type of rant? You know who needs to be having that rant?
Ooh.
The leader quarterback. He's the guy who, on every single team, offense, defense, the leader, everyone looks to the quarterback. Everyone goes, the quarterback, he's the leader. I look at Jay, and it could be his body language, just his overall demeanor. He doesn't portray a leader. And I know you can say, oh, well, that's not his style. But eventually it gets to the point, maybe that's a reason why he's not winning, and guys like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, they have Super Bowls.
Yeah, I think that's dumb, though. I know.
They have rings,
I
Mike.
could just discredit his 2-minute argument. Nah, that's dumb.
Jay Cutler does not have a ring.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that do not have rings. Dan Marino doesn't have a ring. Is he not a leader?
Yeah, the moment you bring rings into it, I kind of lose some value.
But I mean, I will say one thing though. Russell Wilson.
Dan Marino is probably the only exception to that rule.
Russell Wilson's not a leader.
Barry Sanders didn't have a ring.
Yeah, I mean, I would say just to go off.
Look at quarterbacks, because we're talking about quarterbacks.
There was no
leaders.
quarterback on the Lions for that decade span that I'm aware of. As far as
and
I
they
knew,
didn't win the
ball
Super Bowl.
snapped to Barry Sanders.
Modern quarterbacks who have won Super Bowls, would you really consider that Russell Wilson was the leader of the offense, or was it Marshawn Lynch? Because I would say it was Marshawn Lynch.
I'd say Russell, because Marshawn Lynch didn't even want to talk to the press.
So you don't have to talk to the press to be a leader.
I see Russell Wilson as the leader of that offense.
I don't.
Last year when they won the Super Bowl, I did not.
Yeah.
I saw Russell Wilson as a game manager.
I think he's trying
I'll
to
throw down the
I'm
gauntlet. Yeah.
I'm not. See,
because
you
he
guys,
wants that paycheck.
You guys are looking at numbers on the field.
No, I'm not. I'm looking at personality in the media.
I don't even really care about the media very much. I just think
if I remember right, Marshawn Lynch had a commercial that was pretty popular. Skittles?
Yeah.
Tasting a rainbow?
It's true. He's able to do commercials, but he can't talk to the
Russell
media.
Wilson has commercials too.
Now
though.
he does. He does. Before he won the Super Bowl, he was the most quiet, well-spoken guy who was he limited his radio show appearances. He was, more than anything I know, he was extremely well-spoken, beyond his years and age and wisdom, but he was not a leader.
Let me say this then. Because of the Russell Wilson thing doesn't fit totally into that he's outspoken leader. When you look at Russell Wilson, though, do you look at him on the sideline and go, oh, well, it looks like he doesn't give a shit? Because that's what I think of 90% of the time when I look at Jay Cutler.
We said it last week, too. You just don't like Jay Cutler's face. That's what it comes down to. People just do not like his face.
Entire, just body language as a whole, how he carries himself on the football field. I want to see a quarterback that basically looks like he cares if his team wins or not. And with Jay Cutler on the football field with his body language, it doesn't look to me like he cares. He might care, but it doesn't look like he cares.
Yeah, but here's my issue with that, though. I mean, you want a guy who's going to be all, all hoorah, and he's going to be in everybody's face all the time, but when Jay Cutler gets in people's face, the media complains about it.
Okay, can I go with a different spin on this?
Sure.
Look at Brett Favre. How was Brett Favre on the football field?
Before or after he threw an interception?
Anything. He was
pretty happy talking to Mr. Miyagi, if I remember right.
If you looked at on YouTube of his videos when he was mic'd up,
he slapped a lot of butts.
But he was having fun while he played the game.
It's true.
Jay Cutler to me
has fun when he wins games.
It doesn't even
I
look
think Jay
like
Cutler looks like he's having quite fun out there. He smiles when he throws to Brandon
But I'd
Marshall.
rather have a quarterback that's maybe even like Brett Favre also, where it looks like
I would love
he's
to have
having
a quarterback
fun.
that's like Brett Favre. I would fucking love if Brett Favre came out of retirement and played for the Bears, because we'll get to an NFC Championship game.
He's
it's
only,
like an insta
he's
win,
only
yeah.
missing two
Then
teams.
we'll throw an interception.
He's only missing two teams for the full NFC North trifecta.
Hey, it's not too late.
Go to the Buccaneers. He can go for the old NFC Central.
No one can win with Lovey. That is the rule.
Yep, that's a good point.
Because Dave wants him fired.
If we go back to the whole, Trustman's making them soft. Yeah, well, let's see. If Trustman made them soft, according to him, Lovey made them, tough guys. Well, let's see. How well is that working out for them in Tampa Bay?
Everyone
We've got
can't
the
be
saddest,
Shiano,
most pathetic team in the NFL right now. It's disgusting to watch. They're not even like a pro football team. They can't.
We get it.
No.
We get it. You don't like Lovey and Tampa. We get it.
I got some ill feelings for Lovey.
In regards to Jay Cutler, though,
go ahead.
Yep.
To make Chicago fans happy, to have the discussion here.
To rally your fan base.
Oh, not even to rally the fan base. I'm just saying, for those of you Chicago fans who,
walk them away from the
past
ledge?
few years, who have been talking about get rid of Jay Cutler, especially when we had Josh McCown out there doing his old man thing.
Well, yeah, that's worked out so well again.
Who do you want to replace him? Just think about that. Like, I want all fans out there who want Jay Cutler replaced. Give me a name of who is going to replace him.
Brett Hundley.
I don't think we're going to get him because
You don't think so?
Mariota probably not going to actually pan out in the NFL, and I think
Doesn't
scouts
matter.
know that.
His
Jameis Winston not going to pan out in the NFL,
And again, it doesn't matter if you're gonna
GMs
pan
wanna
out or
stay
not.
the hell away from him. So that, to me, that leaves Hundley as number one. Not number one overall, but number one
I
quarterback.
seriously think that both of those quarterbacks will go before Hundley. Hundley will be available in the teens to 20s. I think that's prime striking range for the Bears. And honestly, I was totally sold on this is the Bears Super Bowl year at the beginning of the year. You were right. You're like, no, this team's got a ways to go. We're close, but we still have some key pieces we need to fill in. And you're absolutely right as of right now. And one of those places is quarterback in my mind. I honestly have flipped the switch on Cutler. I'm like, no, he's not the guy who's going to win it for us. Could he? Absolutely. But when every week you have to flip a coin and go, is it good Jay? Is it bad Jay? Is it going
Kind
to
of
be
like
passionate?
having Rex Grossman.
It is exactly like the Grossman season, except we don't have a defense.
Yeah, we need a defense.
Grossman would be like, hey, I've got a QBR of like 90. I've got a QBR of like 4. Back-to-back weeks with nothing causing the difference.
Can I make a bold prediction about the Bears looking at their schedule looking forward?
Sure.
The Bears, to me, right now, I know we made our predictions at the beginning of the season.
We're still going to beat the Minnesota
sure,
Vikings.
Well, no,
I'm pretty sure
I know,
Ricky had
I
them
know.
going to the Super Bowl.
Nope,
but
I did.
Yeah.
But
just want to throw that
looking
out
at how they've played right now,
Mm-hmm.
the Bears, at the best, 7-win team. Because the only games I see them as winning, both against the Vikings, Tampa Bay, maybe New Orleans.
I don't know. I think the Bears can play better.
I think we can knock off Detroit once.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
For sure.
Yeah.
We like to beat Detroit in Detroit.
And Dallas, we play close, regardless of skill level.
'cause you're not
I know
gonna
Dallas
beat-
is on another level this year.
I'll tell you right now, you're not beating Green Bay and Green Bay this year.
Probably not.
We might, though. We might. I mean, it was a shootout to start. It's just that the Bears only play one half. It's just choose one. So if we can actually go in there and play two halves, maybe we can actually have a chance.
But yet again, with me, I'm kind of making the prediction that this season...
You're trying to drag us into the shitter with your Vikings.
No, it has nothing to do with
He's
that.
trying to handcuff us to the Vikings.
I
here.
said at the beginning of the season that the Vikings were probably not going to do well. I had no idea that we were going to lose Adrian Peterson for the season.
Yeah, so
But,
without him,
I kind of knew that
maybe you
we were
shouldn't
gonna
have
have
beat
a
your
bad
children,
season.
Who knew?
Maybe you should.
Not a good policy.
No,
not a good
typically
policy.
it's not.
But to me, I don't see this Bears team getting any better unless changes are made, and they're not going to make a trade.
Yeah, I don't think they've got what it takes to pull the trigger on anything right now. They're going to wait and see, play out the season, because on paper, this team looks like they will succeed.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is the big moves we made in the offseason, picking up Jared Allen, totally backfired. Between his poor play and his health conditions, he's been a non-factor. The best pickups we've got were Houston and
Willie
Young from Detroit, who've stepped up huge on that defensive line for us. But again, we predicted it. Tillman plays a couple games. Tillman's done for the year. Our secondary, Conti played a couple. Conti's injured. Yay.
Yeah, but you got a
that guy.
huge surprise out of Kyle Fuller.
I
didn't expect
know,
Kyle
huge
Fuller
surprise.
to be...
not 100%.
I expect
huge
him to be
surprise, but a
good,
surprise.
but not
He's
as
made
good
some
as he
very
has
rookie
been.
plays.
Yeah.
He's shown flashes, but he's still a rookie. Look, so that pans out right where it's a first-round quality player. Absolutely. He panned out great for us, but... I mean, the fact we're still clinging on to DJ Williams as a linebacker.
As we have, 4 draft picks just kind of in the wings of fluxing in and out
Yeah.
of those linebacker
Yeah,
positions.
I mean, Kasim Green, Bostic.
We have McClellan's hanging out over there for some reason,
It's just bad. Okay, so yes, our secondary, our defense as a whole has been like patchy, and the fact that we didn't get exactly what we were hoping for, I think they're gonna let it play out. There's no value right now in trading someone off our team.
Let me put it this way then. Season's all over. Make the playoffs or not.
Brett Hundley.
Bears don't make the Super Bowl.
There's more. There's a lot more we need in the first
It is
round.
draft day in Chicago. You're a Bears fan. First round pick. Bears are on the clock. What do you hope they do? Get someone to help rebuild that defense or go quarterback?
For me, I mean, no, not even. I was
Do
going to
you
say.
replace Jay or go for the defense?
There's no reason to replace Jay in my mind.
You either need an elite pass rusher a linebacker, or that top tier corner. One of those three spots.
I mean, I'd prefer safety over the corner.
Yeah, but you're not going to go safety in the first round usually.
Typically not, but I want it.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yeah, those are top three right there. And for me, we already took Fales in mid rounds of last year's draft, so you're not going to take another mid round quarterback.
But is he the guy you can kind of mold to be the guy to eventually take over for Cutler?
I mean, it's possible.
I think it's sooner than later, and I don't think he's got the time to learn.
But the thing is, I don't trust any quarterback we're going to take in the first round to just go, here you go.
You said yourself, Hundley is the most ready for the NFL.
He is the most NFL ready, but I still don't trust a young quarterback just going, have fun, buddy. How often does it work?
Worked last year.
And I was going to say, in the last couple of years, like once or twice.
I'm kind of leaning with Dave. I mean, Brett Hundley. Because, I mean, I don't think the Bears are going to be, let's say they're even the 7-9, like I said, that I predict them
entirely
to go.
Realistic.
They are not going to get Mariota with that.
No.
And, I mean, even if Jameis Winston falls.
Yeah. Well, actually, I might want Winston.
I don't think the Bears
Most
take
people
him.
wouldn't.
No.
I'll agree with you. It would not be a popular pick.
Yeah,
But I mean, the other quarterbacks that you think about coming out. Connor Cook's a guy where I feel like he's going to be like the Kirk Cousins, like taking maybe second at the highest, but more third, fourth. Zane Petty, Baylor quarterback, but to me, I look at him and go, how is he going to translate to the NFL? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
There's just no guarantee. There really isn't. I mean, we look at RG3 where everyone was like, yeah, RG3 is going to be just as good as Andrew Luck, and now he doesn't play because he's hurt all the time.
That rookie year, man. Such high hopes.
And then you have a guy like Russell Wilson taken in the third round. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback now. Who expected that besides Dave? David's just so happy that he got that one right there.
I'm happy that I got that, though, because like going into training camp, he had to earn his right to start. And I think if you went out and got Brett Hundley, he would outperform David Fales. I have no doubt in that.
I mean, he probably would. But for me, there's no quarterback out there where I'm just like, yeah, that's the guy that I want us to go for, excluding the draft. That's the guy I want us to go for. The only person who's out there who might be able to work in this Trustman system, maybe Mark Sanchez. But do we really want to get rid of one guy with interception issues for another guy with interception issues? There's
no point in going out and picking up a journeyman quarterback at this point. I call him journeyman. I know he's been in the league for 5 years. So still, I think we started with Hundley. I mean, the quarterbacks who have been coming out lately have been playing quarterback since such a young age. It feels like there's more prep time for them. It feels like they're better prepared for the NFL. I think that's why we're seeing less maturation period with them staying on the bench behind a starter for a couple of years. They're able to come in and start games.
But a lot of them fail.
To be honest,
the majority of them fail.
I want to take a little microscope and put it on your Andrew Luck thing. Andrew Luck, to me, is an exception to the rule.
He's the once in a decade player.
You look at his, of course, his skill set. He's a pocket passer. Look at his college coach, Jim Harbaugh, who is an NFL caliber coach,
who they just want to get rid of for some damn reason. I don't believe it. I'm still angry about all
the
those
49ers getting rid of him.
Yeah, it's God. Why? If it happens, I'm going to be so angry.
No, but I mean, you look at Andrew Luck.
No way.
Skill set, pocket passer, had a NFL caliber coach in college.
No, he was set up to succeed. I will give you that.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
such a smart mind.
It's not just that. It's the fact that he was so talented at an early age that they're like, all right, we really need to work with this kid because he will be the next Dan Marino. He will be the next Peyton Manning. Like, Arizona's calling him the best pickup since what, John Elway?
Mm-hmm.
So there's absolutely no doubt that.
Well, you had the comparisons, him and RG3 to Elway and Marino. Because they were the same class.
Yeah, the only problem there was
the issue with that for the Bears here that we're talking about, or any other team that might need a quarterback right now.
Mm-hmm.
You missed it. You missed Andrew Luck. You weren't the worst team 2 years ago. So now what do? You hope you get Russell Wilson in the third round because besides Russell Wilson, who is the next best quarterback that came out of the draft recently?
Colin Kaepernick.
I wouldn't count him because he had years of sitting there learning, though. I'm talking about someone who came in and played right away.
Oh, okay. Played right away.
Maybe Nick Foles, but he's not even doing that great.
Well, Foles succeeded instantly in that system, and then this year, obviously,
he sat behind Michael Vick, though, right?
For like half a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got Oakland with their parade of quarterbacks annually.
And Derek Carr was sort of impressive for a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's going to pan out. He'll be an average NFL quarterback, which is still above average as far as everyone else is concerned.
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up.
I just think, for me, I just can't. And this is just me being maybe an overly cautious fan who's used to, Lovie Smith and the McCaskies wasting their draft picks.
I'm ready to turn it over at this point. I don't think Jay deserved the contract. I think he deserved a 3-year, maybe tops.
Now, I will say, though, you do have $50 million guaranteed. Are you going to really turn it over
that's
and
the
give
problem.
him roughly $37 million just to turn it? Unless you get a trade. And maybe you're going to luck out with that.
You know what? Maybe Lovey wants him, too. We'll just sell all of our problems to Tampa Bay.
And then we get, Mike
Glennon.
Or Josh McCown back.
You can get Mike Evans, though.
Right,
get a wide receiver.
I was say, Lovey wouldn't need
Let's get a fourth wide receiver in that case.
Lovey doesn't need wide receivers in his system. He taught us that.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I just can't. I can't trust the draft because there's no good history of good draft picks in Chicago, really.
Yeah, we're terrible at that.
So there's nobody.
We're terrible at quarterback too.
There's nobody else out there that we're gonna trade for. So in this case, I mean, I don't like saying we're stuck because I like.
But
Jay
it's the
Cutler.
best available option.
Yeah.
In your mind.
Well, and I
respect that.
Anything can happen, but right now, to me, the only guys I can think of being possible, and I use air quotes when I say big time quarterback free agents. Ryan Mallett. Yeah, Houston traded for him, but doesn't mean he's necessarily going to re-sign with Houston.
He might be starting pretty soon, is what people are saying.
Exactly. Houston's had some struggles as of recently.
Or Kirk
with
Cousins.
Because Fitzpatrick has some clear issues.
I mean, I know Kirk Cousins he's getting benched for this week coming up.
Good for Colt McCoy, though. I'm just glad Colt McCoy finally has an opportunity to do something because he goes to play for Carolina, and then you're going to pass up Cam Newton.
Don't forget,
Never.
Colt McCoy was also the third stringer behind Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick for a while.
And I was actually thinking of Jimmy Clausen when I said that.
I was going to say Jimmy Clausen.
He's on the
on the
Bears.
Bears.
No, Colt was on the Browns.
Colt McCoy got replaced by a 28-year-old.
Yes.
Yep, Brandon Whedon.
But I feel like maybe Kirk Cousins, if you can sign him for cheap.
I mean, he does. He does.
Could he
love
be
corn.
the guy to replace Jay?
He loves corn, and this is Illinois.
He's an All-American too.
It's true.
It just doesn't get done for me though.
It doesn't.
No, I don't think that's enough. I just don't think Kirk Cousins. All he's done is be inconsistent.
Yeah,
like he hasn't won any games for them.
He's been given so many great opportunities to take that team away from RG3.
You know the fun thing is, like everybody talks him up, like all the fan base, like, oh man, I wish we would just stick with Cousins. He's so much better than RG3. No, he's not. He's not. RG3, is super injured. When healthy, is leagues above Kirk Cousins.
He's super injured though.
Is super injured.
Yeah.
So neither one of them is your answer. Colt McCoy. His split the Red Sea and is clearly your choice.
Or, you know what we could do? We could always go get Matt Flynn on the team, and then one of our second or third stringers will come and be great.
You could do that as well. But to kind of round out our show today, kind of like what we did last week, a little bit of Dave's idea.
A little rundown.
Each week, each matchup. First one, Thursday night football. Divisional matchup, Chargers-Broncos.
Great game. Chargers always kill the Broncos in these ones. But
Phillip or Manning? Phillip or Manning?
I have a feeling that this time Peyton Manning's riding that high from breaking Brett Favre's record. I think the Broncos knock down Chargers. Chargers lose again. Heartbreaker.
I'm going to go with Phillip. I'm going to ride the Rivers.
This is interesting because the Broncos, of course, undefeated at home so far.
Yep.
But the Chargers
doing really good this year.
Yeah, they're not scared of that.
They have been kryptonite. They've been kryptonite to the Broncos. I'll admit it. I'm going with the. It's weird to say that a 5-1 team to a 5-2 team, but really, I think the Broncos got at their number this time.
Let's go with the Bears matchup. Bears-Pats.
This one's a scary one. I'm a Bears fan. The upside is that
Patriots
Bill
lost.
Belichick sent home his top cornerback because he was tardy to practice today.
Well, not just that. The Patriots lost a defensive lineman, Jones, to injury. So, I mean, that could be good for Jay.
Oh, it is. It's
Might
great
not
news.
have a guy tackling him.
It's great news for Jay. I'm going to shock it. After shit-talking the Bears all week, I'm going to pick the Bears to beat the Patriots in this one. I think that they finally got the wake-up call. We seriously just lost to Miami because we couldn't play 2 halves of football.
They were all distracted in the first half.
It's true.
I'm taking it back to math class with a simple equation.
Bears beat Patriots.
Tom
Super Bowl.
Brady greater
bell.
than Jay Cutler. Pats win.
All right, that's not really an equation.
Okay, it's an equality. Let's put it that way.
Thank you.
But in this case, I mean,
Math, please.
I gotta go. I gotta go with the Bears.
Or would it be an inequality?
I gotta go.
I don't
with the
know. I'm
Bears.
getting too into the
yeah.
math.
Yeah.
It is a little unequal here, but I'm gonna go with the Bears.
So you guys are going Bears, I'm going Pats?
Yep.
What about Vikings Bucks, Dave? Gonna go with your big boy Lovey? Huh?
Wow. Yeah, that's like a suck bowl for me.
In Tampa.
I got Bridgewater winning this one only because I got McKinnon in fantasy. To be completely honest with you guys, that's about the only thing. That's the only reason to watch this game.
Right now, all three of one of our teams, no matter what league it is, I have Bridgewater in a league. You have McKinnon. You have Greg Jennings.
I do.
We're
He
hitting
needs to do
the
something.
trifecta for season leaders with the Vikings.
This is with that I'm gonna actually go with Mike Glennon on this one. You
Really?
know, you know the rookie,
The
not
Buccaneers?
rookie actually. He's just a
no
weird
rookie.
looking guy. But no, I don't know. I
a
just don't know what
weird-looking
to
guy.
think about Mike Glennon at all. But I don't have any faith in the Vikings.
I'm gonna say Bridgewater bounces back. Bridgewater bounces back, has a better game against the Bucks. Lovey goes to 1-6.
Yeah, I'm all for Lovey going to 1-6. That's the other motivation in this one.
You're all for that one.
You just
win
want
being
Lovey to go
vacated.
one win
Yeah.
all season.
I want them to strip the win from the Buccaneers.
What about the London game, Lions Falcons?
Did you hear about what happened?
No.
They released a player after they flew to London.
It's a
There
dick
was a
move.
release.
It is a dick move.
At least he gets a nice vacation out of it, though.
I guess.
You're already in London.
I mean, you're not
Might
going
as
to
well
fly back
enjoy it.
home. Yeah, that's going to be an awkward ride home with the team otherwise.
Exactly.
But I got the ticket already, guys. I'm coming with.
Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I'm already here. Good game, guys.
No.
Good game, guys.
I don't know.
I'm
who to
going.
pick.
I'm even without Megatron. I'm going Lions.
See, yeah, this is tough for me because I think the Lions would be the better team, but without Megatron, I just don't 100% believe in them.
Golden Tate, they found their number 2 wide receiver. Can we fairly say that? I mean, he has been nothing but reliable for them.
I mean, number one if Megatron's not
that's
on
what
the
I
field.
mean. Yeah, like this opportunity is like it's like a golden opportunity for him.
Ooh, I
and
see
the
what you did
Lions.
there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go with the Lions, but I kind of want to pick the underdog Falcons.
Do you think the Seahawks are missing Tate a little bit?
That's
one thing we
maybe
didn't
he's
talk
the good
about
luck
earlier.
charm because
I was
that's
saying.
when it all turned around.
They've literally turned
He
her.
touch-ceptioned it.
Yeah,
True.
they've literally gotten rid of their 2 offensive weapons at wide receiver back-to-back years now.
And it's funny because we're calling them weapons.
Yes, we are.
So, I'm going Lions. Mark.
I'm going Lions.
I'm going Lions.
Rams Chiefs in KC. World Series going on right now. KC's going to be cheering for the Royals tonight as we're recording. Sunday, they're cheering for the Chiefs.
Austin Davis being sung praises by our glorious leader Brett Favre.
Our glorious leader or fearless leader?
I don't know whatever you want to call the man wearing the jeans. That is
The man wearing the jeans. I
He's
like
got the
that.
Wranglers
I
out.
was
I
gonna
like
say
that.
you can't forget the Wrangler commercials. They're priceless. I'm glad he caught the Santa Claus beard. Got rid of that. Back to the game. I think the Chiefs are gonna take it. Alex Smith is the most accurate quarterback when you take into the fact. I think it's like drop passes and tipped balls. Like he's been the most accurate quarterback. Funny enough, they don't really have a wide receiver with a touchdown.
Also, question for about Jamal Charles. Does he get concussed in this game and does he stay in?
See, I want to be like, there needs to be a ruling. He openly admitted he had concussion symptoms. Shouldn't he be tested for a concussion before the game?
Well, this is it. Well, he was tested this week and he passed.
Well, he passed the day 2, which was like questionable.
Okay. Because, I mean, the thing that they were talking about today when I was watching Dan Levitard is they played what he said on the radio, and the whole reason why he didn't get tested was because apparently it was voluntary, which I'm sitting there going,
How is that
that
voluntary?
possible?
Yeah.
Because they were talking about in the playoff game against the Colts, he had the same thing. They said, no, you can't play. They lost the game. So he's like,
Exactly.
I'm just not going to tell anybody because I want to win this game.
Mission accomplished.
But apparently he was seeing like lightning bugs around his eyes. He was trying to catch them.
Yeah, concussions aren't fun.
Yeah, I don't know. This could be an interesting game. I think this has potential to be a close game, to be honest. Both teams slightly middle of the road, especially with the Rams coming off of a great win. They're going to be feeling good.
I want to see the Rams win this one.
I think it'll be competitive, very much so.
I want to see the Rams win this one. I do. But I don't know if I can pick them.
Well,
I think I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
I got the Chefs.
I'm going with the Chiefs.
I'm going to go with the Rams.
Ooh.
I'm going to ride it.
Mark's the odd man out. What about Texans-Titans?
Will Fitzpatrick lose his grasp as a starting quarterback this week?
I don't know. We can't lose.
We might have 2 new starting quarterbacks.
We can't lose the beard that looks like it's escaping from the
Fitzpatrick on the brink of losing his job, and Jake Locker was just told that he's no longer the franchise hopeful. Mm-hmm. They're dropping back to Mettenberger as the guy to take over. So it's turnover time in Tennessee.
For that, I don't know.
So
I'm excited.
You're going with the Titans?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited to see it. I mean, it's always exciting when a new quarterback comes in.
Because if you remember from our draft stuff, I thought Mettenberger was not like a C quarterback, but like he's a middle of the road quarterback. He's one of those guys who,
and if they can get Bishop Shanky going, get him throwing to
maybe Sean Green instead
because he's on your fantasy team.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I have to go with the Texans because I feel like first game he's going to have some jitters. Tennessee's not that good. They're not that good of a team. I think the Texans are going to pull it together. Fitzpatrick stays alive for one more week.
Alrighty.
It's going to be messy, but I'm going to go with the Texans as well.
Be that way, guys.
Seahawks, they've had some problems. Do they lose their 3rd straight in Carolina?
Top quarterback right now, some say behind the man in the Colts wearing the suit and tie with the world's deepest voice of Andrew Luck. You got Cam Newton.
Deepest voice.
Seriously, he has a freakishly deep voice. Does that not bother anyone else?
Really
a little bit.
His first year in the league, I was like, all right, this guy looks like a total college dude.
You're sitting going, this is a man, right?
And he just drops it like 8 octaves. No, the guy behind him, as far as top quarterback right now, some people argue Cam Newton. He's improved his play so much, and it seems like he has no weapons. He's had Greg Olsen as like the only steady guy, but his play is very good this year.
Hasn't had a consistent running back either.
No, he's been his own running back.
Been injured. Williams has been injured. You're just throwing anyone behind him. The one thing I will say about the Panthers last week when they played the Packers, I was expecting that game to be way closer than it was. I didn't expect the Packers to run away with that game.
Well, the Panthers had like that mini surge where like, oh, we can do it, we can compete. No, we can't. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's okay. It's okay. It happens to all of us.
I'm going to go with an upset alert right here. I'm going to go Panthers over
3 weeks in a row.
I'm clawing up.
So for me, the Seahawks are going to get it together. Without a doubt. They're going to have a good game. Real good game. They're going to win it.
I'm with Mark. I'm going with the distraction in the locker room. Helps them out and is a total wake-up call.
Getting him away from the locker room is what you're saying?
Well, no. There's still a controversy going on in that locker room over Russell Wilson. But it's the fact that...
But the Percy Harvin trade benefits them.
I think definitely... At this point, in the short term, it will. But, it's still a knock against your offense and your special teams in the long run. What
about the divisional matchup? 5-2 Ravens against the 3-2 and 1 Bengals.
What happened to these Bengals? Like
they looked bad last week.
They looked bad for the past couple weeks. They've not been playing well.
Trust me, I know. I've got Andy Dalton's on my fantasy team. Is it because AJ Green's out? You lose AJ Green and everything goes to shit.
Sanu had a phenomenal game.
We had the conversation about best quarterback wide receiver duo. AJ Green's what makes Andy Dalton a great quarterback.
Go check out that podcast, by the way. It was a good one.
It was a very good one.
Blast from the past.
Yep. I'm surprised the Ravens are 5-2, to be honest. But hey, I'm going to roll with them.
Yeah, I am stick with the Ravens as well.
This is going to be a triple sweep, Ravens across the board. I have Andy Dalton as my quarterback, but
you're still rooting against him.
I think in that league I picked up Carson Palmer anyways because I'm done with Dalton.
Understandable.
Dolphins, Jaguars. Do the Jaguars get win number dose?
It's the Florida Bowl.
It is the Florida Bowl. I like that. Well, I don't know. The Dolphins last week
versus the Tannehills.
Dolphins last week stepped it up, but how the heck is Denard Robinson their main running back? Shoelaces. Really? Toby Gerhardt did not pan out for them, so they're at Shoelaces now.
Hey, Shoelaces looked pretty good.
All right, they need to get... Bortles needs to change his last name to Robinson because right now the rushing leader is Denard.
Robinson.
The receiver
Robinson,
is Allen Robinson.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I'm going Tannehill as another good
Dolphins
game.
are a balanced team. There's no reason they shouldn't win this game, but there's no reason the Browns should have lost to the Jaguars last week.
True.
So I'm going to go Dolphins, but you know what? Crazy things happen.
You're
Mark, what
wrong,
about
though.
you?
There's a very good reason why the Browns lost, and that is because it's sad.
Factory of it.
Never underestimate the sad.
They tried to out sad the Browns.
The factory
It's
of
not possible.
sadness.
It's not. It really isn't. Going with Tannehill's and the Dolphins.
So
Nice.
triple sweep.
Yep.
What about Bills Jets? Percy Harvin makes his debut for the Jets.
They don't have a
One-
quarterback. Kyle Orton, in we trust.
The
Yeah,
1-6
the
Jets.
Kyle Orton.
1-6. I mean, no one expected the Jets to be good, but 1-6 is a little surprising.
When you're equal to the Jaguars,
Wait,
you
wait,
feel a little bit right here,
I got a
Rex
question.
Ryan.
Does Kyle Orton only have a 1-year contract with the Bills?
He should only have a 1 year. Yeah.
If he
I'm not
doesn't
sure.
resign, do the Bears bring back
We
Orton?
just reversed the trade.
I don't think so. I think Lovie Smith will be first on that bandwagon, eager to make
you
up for
gotta
his
bring
mistakes.
him to Tampa?
Yep,
for sure.
I think you bring back Neckbeard to Chicago.
you could. There's no harm, but Orton won a game for them last week. He won that game.
He did. He did win that.
So-
Don't bring up that game.
Hey, Kyle Orton
That was
won
a
some
bad
games
game
in
for me.
Chicago too. Don't worry. You know he does it every now and then.
Yeah.
I'm going to make an interesting pick here. Percy Harvin helps the Jets get their second
How many
win of
jet
the
sweeps
season.
can the Jets run in a game?
50
50 jet sweeps.
for the Jets.
Can they
Okay.
just direct snap it to the wide receiver?
What's their one fan? Firefighter what? Is it Ed?
Yeah.
Firefighter Ed's going to be cheering his
Fireman
butt off
Ed?
this game. Fireman Ed.
Yeah, that's not
Fireman
firefighter. That sounds. I don't know.
You know, here's the thing. I'm actually for
I'm not
some
a
reason
Jets
going
fan.
to
I understand.
kind
Nobody
of
is at this
agree
point.
with you, Ricky. I'm going to take the Jets in this game.
You're taking the
Really?
team that doesn't have a quarterback.
We
I
both
am.
are?
It's a
I
bold
am.
choice.
We both
Because
are?
it's Kyle Orton out there.
Touchdown.
I know Kyle Orton. He is not going to do good again.
No, Kyle Orton will do good again. It's Kyle Orton. He's great at being good.
It's Kyle Orton. He does really well. He gets you excited, and then he disappoints you.
No, I trust
He's
him.
the dad that doesn't show up.
Oh wow! Wow!
Mark
Mark,
just dropped
Mark,
that bomb.
do you want to talk about anything with us?
I'm
Hey.
pretty good, but as a Chicago Bears fan, I'm very used to quarterbacks that don't quite
one
show up
thing
after
I will
they get you
say.
excited.
CJ Spiller will not be playing in this game due to a broken collarbone.
Yeah, that was a rough one to watch too.
And also, Sammy Watkins will not be playing as per the request of Rex Ryan.
Yeah, good call, Rex. It was very nice of you to come out before the game and talk about it, but I think it's the best move for the Jets going forward.
Yep.
This should be a good game. 5-1 teams, Eagles at Cardinals.
I don't know. I think it's going to be a good game. I think the Cardinals are going to backhand the Eagles. The Eagles have
Really?
had offensive
Two
troubles.
5-1 teams doesn't intrigue you?
They've had offensive troubles for the past couple weeks, man.
Nick Foles gets it back. See, I'm in a tricky situation here. In one fantasy league, I want Nick Foles to get it back on track and throw to Jeremy Maclin. On the other hand, in our fantasy league, I picked up Carson Palmer. I have two quarterbacks in the same game.
Yeah, it's too many fantasy leagues, Ricky. That's your
Yep.
issue here.
It's only two.
Just gotta pick one
Only
and roll
two?
with it.
Yep.
Give
No.
your all, 110%.
I love my
Arizona's
fantasy.
got a top-notch defense. They've been winning with whoever's at quarterback. It doesn't really matter to them. Balanced offense, I think, is one of the best parts about it.
They're going to stay ahead in the NFC
Yeah.
West.
I think that they can roll with it another week.
For sure. I actually, we talked about Nick Foles a little bit ago, how he's had some issues this season. Cardinals, I think, could take advantage of that. Without a doubt. That defense, gotta love the Cardinals defense.
We're going with the strikeout 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pick the Cardinals at home as well.
Really, no defense on the Eagles. I like it.
The next game's an interesting
We just
one.
pissed off some Philly fans.
Raiders and Browns.
Do the Browns give up another first victory of the season?
How is this game not blacked out in local areas?
Because the FCC said you cannot black games out anymore.
That's right. They made that illegal. It should be.
The Browns, though, this was the part
For
of
your
their
own
schedule.
safety.
It's just kind of, guys, don't bother.
It's like one of those FCC
done.
warnings before. It's like, for your own safety, please change the channel. No, I mean, the Browns really were disappointing last week.
Well,
Hoyer
I mean,
threw the ball like 40-plus times. And
Starting with last week, this was supposed to be the stretch of 3 games.
for Manziel.
Where, well, not just that.
No,
where
it was Manziel's return.
If they win, Jacksonville, Oakland, Tampa, they're a 6-2 football team, and then they go ahead and lose to Jacksonville.
Yep. they
What's
ruined
to
it.
say they're not going to lose to Oakland?
Hey, Oakland's got to win a game at some point. Nobody can be as bad as the 0-16 Lions.
I got to go with the Raiders. I have to.
I think Manziel's going to see the field.
He might, though.
At quarterback or as a trick wide receiver?
At quarterback, even. That's pretty impressive.
Dual quarterback out there.
A Wildcat quarterback?
Regardless.
Not a real
Good
quarterback.
No, Manziel's going to see the field, either because the Browns are doing so terrible or because they're blowing Oakland out so hard. It's one where it will be a lopsided game. I'd like Oakland in this one, though. It's weird picking the 0-6 team.
Did you make your pick yet, Mark?
I did not. It's tempting to pick the Raiders. And
I want Carr to succeed.
as sad as it would be, it makes sense.
He's been sacked like 45 less times than his brother, though, in his first year.
I don't think I can do it, though. At home against worst team in the NFL, I think the Browns have to.
All right.
Have to win it.
The last day game of the Sunday, Colts at Steelers.
I'm excited for this game, to be honest. I think it's going to be fun. Steelers trying to bounce back as hard as they can. A lot of discussion about the future of this team involving, Todd Haley specifically.
If they had lost last week, I mean, it would have been like total shutdown in that town. I mean, I honestly was like, oh, shit, they're close. And now they pulled it off. Okay.
Well, I mean, the way I see it is you look at the Steelers, 4-3 record. Everyone's like, okay, we're not negative. There's a little bit of a positive attitude. Kind of the flip side of what's happening in Chicago. 3-4 record. The entire just mood of the fan base is all negative. But in this game, I can't pick the Steelers. The Colts are just too hot this year. Andrew Luck is having a record, well, for himself, a record season, personally.
He is, and that's why I got to go with the Colts.
Yeah, I'm picking the Colts as well on this one.
Nice and easy.
He's in an untouchable mode right now. It doesn't matter who goes up against them. He's going to score a couple times, period. And, there's nothing they can do about it.
Sunday night game, 5-2 Packers, 2-4 Saints at the Superdome in New Orleans.
What's up with these Saints? What's up with these Saints? I expected great things out of these guys.
Ryan's going to get fired. Not Rex Ryan, Rob Ryan's going to get fired.
That's possible. I mean, it's kind of pathetic how little that defense can do. I mean, it's never been the Saints' thing to have a defense for the past 10 years, I'd say.
Well,
it's always
until they
offensive-minded.
say, hey, I'm going to pay you to knock him out.
Yeah, if there's money on
Well,
board,
that kind of entices you a bit to play harder. I understand.
So, as much as it pains me to say, Packers, nice and easy.
Yeah, I think this one will be a shootout. It's going to be like 42-30, but it's still the Packers to win.
Aaron Rodgers is going to have at least 4 touchdowns, 2 to Cobb, 2 to Nelson. Packers win. Monday night, Colt McCoy makes his start for the Redskins, but he's got to play the Cowboys, 6-1.
Can he take down the Giants?
Here's the thing, though.
Not the Giants, the Giants.
There's got to be
Romo.
There's got to be
Romo.
a good old classic NFC East.
Does DeMarco
beatdown.
Murray have an 8th straight 100-yard game?
Absolutely. The Redskins' defense is not good enough to stop him.
Here's what I want to say.
But
though.
can they contain him?
Can they injure him is the real question.
In
They're-
prime
Because
time,
that's how you
guys.
stop him.
We're not talking about the Saints.
We're talking about prime time here, though. Cowboys
Monday-
like to lose games in prime time
Monday
We're
night
talking prime time in prime
to
time.
their NFC East rivals. This
True.
right here has all the makings of an upset. Colt McCoy's first start out there, get those Redskin fans excited about something. I don't know, man. This one, it's very illogical, but I'm picking the Redskins.
It's the Jerry
Really?
Jones pick to make.
It is.
Really?
I'm getting in the mode.
You're going to pick the Redskins?
I'm going to go with the Redskins.
Bold prediction, Mark. I'm going to play it safe and stick with the Cowboys. I think Murray's going to get another 100-yard game. I think they just keep trucking. Keep on trucking. I mean, I know a lot of people in Dallas want to hear that their threesome of Romo, Murray, and Bryant are similar to a previous threesome from the early 90s that won them a couple rings. They're not there yet. Let's be fair. They're not there yet. But this is probably their best chance as far as the season goes. Production-wise, they can't be touched. I think this is their year if they're going to win it. They just got to keep going, keep the strategy. People are like, no, Murray's touching the ball too much. He's going to go down. No. What happens is you either have that back who is a transcendent guy who will put up those numbers year after year, or you're going to have the 1 year and burn out, which we've seen about 5 or 6 guys do in the last 10 years, where they get to about 1,800 yards and up that year, and then they're done. Like, they kind of wash down to like 1K or, poor CJ no K. I think you got to make your push this year. Use DeMarco Murray, use Romo, use Dez, and go for the win right now. There's no point in being like, no, we should save him. I think that was the stupidest argument I've heard all year.
I'm looking at this game, going, Mark, I'm looking at you with Colt McCoy. And last week, he looked good. 11 of 12, 128 yards, touchdown. He had a QBR of 82.3. But the last time he started a game, 2011, Thursday Night Football at Pittsburgh, a 14-3 loss. Yes, it was the Browns, but he had a QBR of 17.3. Are we going to see that Colt McCoy or the Colt McCoy we saw last Sunday?
I think it's more likely to assume the one from last Sunday because the other one was from 2 years ago.
It's been a while. He's got a lot.
But
He's had a lot of
Colt
growing.
McCoy has not been the consistent. Yeah, he's a starter in the NFL to me.
Yeah, well, he's always been passed up. Has he ever been given the real chance to be that guy? No, the Browns don't count as a chance. I don't care what you say. They're not a real chance.
I want the Redskins to win, but it's hard to pick against DeMarco Murray.
Oh, absolutely.
Notice how I said DeMarco Murray, not Tony Romo.
Yeah. Well, Romo will shoot himself in the foot and make his own mistakes. DeMarco Murray's the stabilizer for the team.
So that's going to do it this week for the Onside Kick. Let us know what you thought about anything we talked about today. Seattle, Chicago, our picks about the games for Week 8. Leave that in the comment section down below. Make sure to hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, all that good stuff. And as always, have a good day, everybody.